Police have had a serious problem with teenagers and Satanism over the past 5 years. The most disturbing, an increase in teenage homicides and suicides with ritualistic or satanic overtones. Animal sacrifices, birds, dogs, church desecrations and burglaries, palaces stolen. They use them to drink the blood of their sacrifices. Do you still believe in Satan?
Yeah. He can come into you and make you do wicked stuff and weird things like that.
Like, for instance?
Hurt people, hurt your family.
In the 80s, I felt compelled to defend Satanism, primarily because you have to understand, growing up in this religion, I almost began to regard it as a kind of problem sibling. It was like my brother. It was under attack when all of these horrendous accusations were happening. And I called my father and I asked him what his media strategy was to deal with it, and he confessed that he had no media strategy whatsoever. He didn't care. At that point, he was living in a complete isolated bubble. My mother had left him, so I said, well, if you need anybody to answer questions or just to answer a phone call or something, I said, I can do it. From there, I became the high priestess of the Church of Satan.
Forced underground by the religious hysteria of the Middle Ages, Satanism was resurrected, first by an Englishman named Aleister Crowley in the early 20th century. It entered its modern era in this country just about 25 years ago, under the theatrical guidance of Anton LaVey, California-based high priest of present-day devil worship. LaVey founded the Church of Satan. Now, despite its preachings of evil and hate, the Church and its offshoots are constitutionally protected religions.
I believe that hate is necessary in a controlled way just as much as love is necessary.
LaVey penned the best-selling Satanic Bible. It's the handbook of devil worshippers everywhere. And for a time, he was considered chic enough to attract the attention of Hollywood. After working together on a film, LaVey made Sammy Davis Jr. an honorary member, while the late Jane Mansfield was for a time among LaVey's most passionate followers.
Most of the people that are in my group are professional people, they're business people, they're people that are from very responsible walks of life. I do lecture on various occult subjects. It isn't all Satanism. I lecture on voodoo, West Indian magic, African magic, Norse magic, and also try to help people with various problems, enlighten them on these concepts of magic, folklore, and offbeat religions. This is how I got involved in this as a religion.
I understand that, what are you doing?
I'm giving a blessing to the audience.
I don't think they appreciate it. They were throwing it back.
Well, they thought it was a curse. Would you like me to show them how the sign of the curse works?
Sign of the curse?
Completely different.
How does it go?
No, not at you people out there in the audience, but this is the difference.
Aim it toward Red China, would you?
This is the sign of the horns. A curse sign, the two fingers extended. This way, spread apart for sort of shotgun blast, you know.
I always
all over,
figured if I ever met the devil, they'd have dirty fingernails. Go on.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Well.
Dirty fingernails.
Well, that's because I've been fooling around with your equipment.
Never mind. Don't blame it on the studio. Go on with it.
All right.
So that's the sign of the horn, and then what happens? Is that it?
Well, there are other ones, too.
Yeah, what are the other ones?
The other ones, one of them's the pox sign. That's 3 fingers extended.
A pox on you?
A pox on you. During the Middle Ages, this was...
Yeah. Oh, yes.
But
You're
originally...
a bad cat.
Well, you have to be bad to be good, don't you?
Is it true that you teach people how to make voodoo dolls and stick pins in them to hurt people?
That's right. I believe that hate is necessary in a controlled way just as much as love is necessary.
But could it really work?
Of course it works. It's been working in primitive societies for a long, long time.
Well, then how come you don't pick out the despots of the world and make dolls like that and stick pins in them so that you want them to win. You want the bad guys to win, right?
Well, I don't say they're necessarily the bad guys or the good guys. It's not up to me because the only people that I would cast a curse or a spell on would be people individually that would sort of get under my skin.
Why are you staring at me like that?
Because after all, hate should be a personalized thing.
Name, sir?
Yes, my name is Jim Jelsma.
Did you drop in for some devil's food cake or what? What's on your mind?
No, we're... first of all, how do I address you?
Well, you can call me Mr. Reverend Anton by my first name, whatever.
Well, I'll state the Mr. to begin with. First of all, I'll say one thing. You have a lot of followers.
And you're right.
Oh, yes.
You're right about the devil being a god, because the Bible clearly states that the devil is the god of this world, and he's also the prince of the power of the air. So I don't dispute you on this matter at all. My only question...
Are we picking up a new recruit here? So when your wife crawls over that line to say good morning to you, does she refer to you as Beelzebub, or how does she address you?
Depends on what mood she happens to be in.
Is she also a satanic type?
Oh, yes.
She approves of all of this?
Certainly. She wouldn't be around if she didn't.
And how do you make your living?
As a counselor, sorcerer, practicing wizard, shaman, warlock, whatever you wish to call it.
You're also a male witch, a warlock.
Well, a male witch is considered a warlock.
Yeah.
But I don't
you
consider
claim to be a witch, then?
A male witch? Certainly, but not a white witch, not like some of these people that have been on various shows that bend over backwards trying to convince everyone how good they are. They never perform black magic, only white magic.
Every time you saw Taylor Swift on your TV at the Super Bowl, you were flashed with demonic hand gestures and an inverted cross. As right next to her was this woman, Ice Spicy. The second she notices she's on TV, she does her hand gestures and shows her cross. I mean, you don't even have to be conspiracy theorist for this one. Her friends are drinking, doing whatever, watching the game, and she does this. It just looks so forced. And for those of you saying it's not an upside down cross, Playboy Cardi literally posted it on his story, and in up close videos and photos of her, you can see she's clearly rocking it. After the Chiefs won, the President of the United States posted this on his Instagram saying, "Just like we drew it up in these red eyes." Kanye West was at the game wearing all black with a black mask with Jesus Christ in between his eyes. This is the biggest stage in the world. Everything on your TV is there for a reason, and we haven't even got to the commercials or the halftime show.
Once again, a warning about some tough language and descriptions in a report that we'll have for you in just a moment. Let me introduce you first, though, to Zena LeVay. Her father, Anton LeVay, is, I guess, the founding father of Satanism in this country. Founding it about 25 years ago, Zena?
Yeah, approximately 25 years.
Can you tell us with any certainty how widespread the religion of Satanism is in this country or around the world?
Well, the religion is worldwide. We have members throughout the world.
So when people come up and tell Dad that he's the goat, that's what they mean.
Not the devil, the devil.
No, Mum, not the devil.
Well, goats are with...
I know that, Mum.
I'm very honored to be able to receive this amazing award from the depths of my soul. My passion, work.
And it's a legitimate religion, perfectly within it's legal.
What is it? Dr. Aquino, the high priest of the Church of Set?
Temple of Set.
Temple of Set, also a colonel, interestingly enough, in the United States Army. What is it, this Satanism?
Well, originally the Church of Satan, when it was founded, was composed not of people with a hatred for Christianity, but of people who, by and large, were agnostics and atheists, because they felt that the institutions which had arisen around Christianity had failed in their moral commitment. So Satanism itself became an emphasis on rational self-interest and on taking responsibility for your own intellectual and ethical decisions.
Rational self-interest, you call it?
Yes.
One of the ugliest, yet apparently most common rituals in devil worship is the sacrifice of animals, often involving the removal of organs and the draining of their blood in elaborate ceremonies. Well, a series of cattle mutilations on this Louisiana farm has sent a shiver of fear through this entire community. Show me the evidence that this was some kind of ritual.
Oh, this hole right here and the tail, they cut the tail off. The same thing with the ears.
They cut the ears off.
Right.
So you two have no doubt but that your animals were used in some kind of ritual.
Right. Yes. All the blood was gone out of them, too. Every one of them, the blood was drained. No blood, no inside, eyes pulled out, everything. I'm begging for something to be done. I'm scared. I believe in the Lord, and I believe in you. But I'm still going to carry my gun because I'm scared.
In our investigation, we discovered that some of Satan's soldiers are also high-ranking officers in the United States military. Here at San Francisco's Presidio Army Base, for example, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino led a double life as a satanic high priest. The colonel's cult is listed in the San Francisco telephone book, and his phone answering machine boasts of his affiliation.
Is the Temple of The Temple is the only international satanic religious institution fully recognized by the United States government.
Indeed, the Army does officially recognize Satanism as a legitimate religion and supplies chaplains with this guide for ministering to the satanic soldier. Yet unofficially, some charge that Army bases have become sanctuaries for devil worshippers.
Joseph, we've agreed to conceal your identity, but you are an officer in the United States Army.
That's correct.
And you were an officer in the United States Army during the time you were a member of this satanic organization.
Yes.
Did the authorities at the Presidio know that a satanic organization was active on their base during the time that you were a member?
They were very much aware of it, yes.
The present base commander, Colonel Rafferty, says that today at least,
I know of no satanic activities whatsoever in this area.
Satanism may be a constitutionally protected religion, but similar to another recent case at the United States Military Academy at West Point, here charges surface connecting ritual child abuse at the Presidio Daycare Center to the devil cult. It was here parents and others allege that as many as 60 young children were ritualistically abused by soldiers of Satan.
What actually was done to the kids?
Oral copulation, sodomy, defecation, they were urinated on.
One of the biggest things that funds them continually is human trafficking, and Kat even mentions that by saying that literally everybody is a supplier.
Dozen CIA employees have been involved in alleged sex crimes against children as young as 2 years old, and only one of them has been charged.
Okay, so just in case anybody has any doubt that our governments, all governments, especially the United States, is infested with pedophiles. I know it sounds crazy, but we need some proof to back it up. How about some mainstream proof?
Potentially hundreds of military employees and contractors who may have bought child pornography online but haven't been prosecuted or even in some cases investigated. That's right, you heard me, child pornography. As many as 1,700 names, according to a U.S. Senator, on a list of 5,200 from an internet sting operation overlooked the first time around 4 years ago. Only now are they supposedly getting a second look, and only after pressure from investigative reporters and the U.S. Senator you're about to hear from, Republican Charles Grassley. Pentagon porn story began in 2006. An Immigration and Customs Enforcement child pornography sting operation called Project Flicker produced payment records of about 5,200 people, many of whom provided Army or fleet zip codes or military email addresses. According to DCIS documents revealed in a Freedom of Information Act request, out of that 3,500, investigators uncovered 264 employees or contractors, including staffers for the Secretary of Defense and contractors at the NSA. 9 people had top security clearances, but only about 20% of those 264 people were completely investigated. Fewer still were prosecuted, and after about 8 months, the entire probe was halted. It left about 1,700 names totally unchecked, 1,700 alleged kiddie porn customers, an unknown number of whom may still work in some capacity for the Defense Department.
The Defense Department releasing brand new details into an investigation involving child pornography and dozens of its workers and contractors, some with top-level security clearance. Not only are these very serious accusations, but investigators say some of the people involved were handling the nation's most sensitive secrets, potentially making this a matter of national security. Chief Fox Report correspondent Jonathan Hunt with the news. Appalling story, Jonathan. Do we know more about these people and their security clearances?
Well, we don't know their exact job titles, John, but what we do know is that they did appear to have been working, some of them at high levels, across a range of government agencies. Take a look at this, for instance, the National Security Agency, the National Reconnaissance Office, and the very secretive Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Others also worked on actual military installations, including Edwards Air Force Base in California and also the California-based Naval Air Warfare Center. So they had access to military secrets in some cases and military hardware, John.
Are all these suspects under arrest?
They're not all under arrest. We got 94 pages of investigative material from the Defense Department today, including dozens of specific individuals. They have not all been arrested, though. Some have been tried, some have been sentenced, but the cases simply fell apart because of lack of evidence. And legal experts tell us it is always very difficult to prosecute child porn cases, not least because it's difficult to prove who exactly was on any given computer.